A significant portion of money gambling. I used to go to Vegas and gamble. I lost the bulk of my money investing in real estate, in which in 2007, 2008, we went through the recession. I'm sure this is a worldwide thing that we all went through, and I got caught up in that web.
Well, I take responsibility. I'm not going to say somebody did that, and that. I'm supposed to look down the barrel. I was showing people guns. Here goes a gun. Here, look at this one. You know, this coach gave me this. This is beautiful. This. And when I went to snap the gun closed to hand it, I didn't even know that Mr. Christophe was in the house. The gun went off and hit Mr. Christophe in the chest.
I mean, obviously there's some things that you would want to change, but you know, if you don't get those bumps and bruises through the course of life in general, you're not going to learn lessons, and those were life lessons for me. So as much as I would like to change some of it, I'm appreciative of it as well because it taught me some valuable lessons.
Some NBA players, like Delonte West, have made such poor financial decisions that they are now homeless.
Wait, did you play LeBron James?
Yeah, we played on the same team for 3 years together.
Others, like Vin Baker, went from being a star in the NBA to working as a Starbucks coffee server.
Was actually going to be a barista at Starbucks.
These are the 20 most foolish NBA players who are currently bankrupt, having lost everything in poor investments and squandered millions on careless spending. Delonte West, during his NBA career, Delonte West made almost $16 million, but his narrative is one of the most tragic financial failures in professional sports. After West retired from basketball in 2013, a series of arrests, substance abuse problems, and mental health disorders combined to cause a downward spiral that would eventually devour his entire fortune. By 2020, there were rumors that West was going through periods of homelessness, which was a startling decline for someone who had made millions of dollars playing with LeBron James and other superstars.
Wait, did you play LeBron James?
Yeah, we played on the same team for 3 years together.
LeBron used to play for the Celtics?
No, we played in Cleveland.
Oh, so you used to play for the Cleveland?
I played with the Celtics, Cleveland.
So you in 2K?
Uh-huh.
What's your name?
Delonte West.
Due to West's dire circumstances, former teammates and NBA leaders such as billionaire Mark Cuban and former player Jameer Nelson stepped in and made a concerted effort to get him into rehabilitation facilities. As of 2025, there have been no verified indications of stability, raising doubts about West's financial recovery despite these attempts. From one heartbreaking bankruptcy story to another, we have Sproul Latrell. Considering that Sproul made almost $97 million throughout his NBA career, his financial decline is quite startling. In 2004, Sproul's most notorious incident occurred when he turned down a 3-year, $21 million contract extension from the Minnesota Timberwolves, saying the offer was offensive and that he needed to provide for his family. This choice signaled the start of Sproul's financial collapse. In addition to being sued for $200 million by his children's mother, his extravagant spending patterns and bad investment decisions rapidly reduced his sizable income. As creditors focused on his dwindling assets, several residences went into foreclosure and his opulent yacht was repossessed. Eventually, Latrell apologized for what he had done. Since there has been no recorded financial comeback by 2025, Sproul's story ranks among the NBA's most remarkable wealth-to-poverty transitions. Antoine Walker's tragic journey from luxury to poverty is another in NBA history. Walker, Antoine. Speaking about significant changes, Antoine Walker's descent from professional earnings of $108 million to bankruptcy is a prime example of financial irresponsibility. Walker declared bankruptcy in 2010 due to crippling debts from gambling and poor real estate ventures, including $770,050 owed to casinos.
I mean, obviously there's some things that you would want to change, but you know, if you don't get those bumps and bruises through the course of life in general, you're not going to learn lessons, and those were life lessons for me. So as much as I would like to change some of it, I'm appreciative of it as well because it taught me some valuable lessons.
Although Walker's issues had several causes, gambling was primarily to blame.
I had 5 or 6 different cars, but I had the most expensive cars when you're talking about Bentleys, Maybachs, Mercedes-Benz, so a lot of high-end things.
However, Antoine's most foolish decision during his playing career was to disregard financial advice in favor of making his own choices, even though he had access to expert assistance. persistence.
So a significant portion of money gambling. I used to go to Vegas and gamble. I lost the bulk of my money investing in real estate, in which in 2007, 2008, we went through the recession. I'm sure this is a worldwide thing that we all went through, and I got caught up in that web.
Like Antoine, the next player followed the same course. Iverson Allen, let us move on to another great athlete who struggled financially. Allen Iverson made almost $200 million during his career, but still managed to declare bankruptcy in 2012. Despite having enormous fortune, Iverson soon spent it all on jewelry, fancy automobiles, and keeping a big entourage. This was made worse by a number of court troubles that further depleted his funds. Even by NBA standards, Iverson's spending was legendary. It has been alleged that he would spend thousands of dollars on one shopping trip, buying expensive clothing and jewelry without considering long-term financial planning. Throughout his playing career, he provided for a large number of friends and family members, which resulted in extravagant entourage expenses. But unlike many stories, Iverson's has a happier conclusion. His NBA pension and lifelong contract with Reebok served as vital safety nets that kept him from becoming bankrupt. Iverson was named Reebok's Vice President of Basketball in 2023, and his trust fund provides future revenue. His story serves as a warning about the perils of lifestyle inflation and inadequate financial planning while one's income is at its highest. But the following player was not so fortunate. Kemp Sean. Another warning story concerns Sean Kemp, who declared bankruptcy in 2009 despite earning over $91 million during his NBA career. Large child support payments for several children and a lavish lifestyle that depleted Kemp's income more quickly than he could produce it were the main causes of his financial collapse. Kemp's financial situation was especially devastated by the child support requirements. Long after his playing career ended, he continued to make financial commitments to support several children in various partnerships. These costs, together with his penchant for upscale merchandise, pricey vehicles, and extravagant entertainment, led to an unmanageable financial strain. Kemp's situation demonstrates how individual choices made during a player's career can have long-term financial repercussions. His entire fortune was eaten by a perfect storm of lifestyle choices and numerous family-first with matey instincts. Responsibilities. His bankruptcy history indicates long-term recovery difficulties that could last for years, even though no recent reports reveal continued financial distress. Kemp's financial situation is still unclear as of 2025, and there is no conclusive proof that he has fully recovered from his prior financial issues. Moving on to a next frightening tale, we have got Vin Baker. During his NBA career, Vin Baker made almost $100 million, but he lost almost everything because of his alcoholism, careless spending, and bad financial choices. By the time he retired, Baker had lost a startling 99.5% of his entire fortune, with only about $500,000 left over from his enormous earnings. A major factor in Baker's financial collapse was his alcoholism. The addiction not only harmed his on-court play, but also impaired his judgment on financial decisions and investments. His spending got increasingly unpredictable as his addiction progressed, leading to poor choices that increased his financial troubles. When Baker accepted a position at Starbucks following the conclusion of his NBA career, it became clear how desperate his circumstances were. Nonetheless, one of the more effective recovery tales is Baker's experience. Although he is far from his previous riches levels, he has stabilized his life by working as a commentator for Fox Sports and as an assistant coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. We have next, during his NBA career, Jason Caffey made about $8 million, but he had to file for bankruptcy because of his unusual child support responsibilities for 10 children from 8 different women. These financial obligations, along with growing legal fees and personal issues, were too much for him to support on his post-career salary. Caffey's predicament serves as an example of how individual decisions can result in unmanageable debt. Even for players with better incomes, the child support payments alone would have been difficult, but for someone with Caffey's very low career earnings, they became crippling. He had little money left over for savings or other obligations because each monthly payment accounted for a sizable amount of his available income. Through lawyer fees and court costs, the legal difficulties of handling several child support claims in various jurisdictions added yet another level of expense. His resources were permanently depleted by these continuing legal responsibilities, which persisted even after his playing career ended. There are no current reports on Caffey's financial situation as of 2025. Rice. Glenn Rice, who made over $25 million throughout his career, but suffered with child support payments and failed investments, is another player who is suffering serious financial difficulties. His incapacity to pay larger sums because he could no longer keep up resulted in his child support obligations being lowered from $1,500 to $1,600 per month. In addition to child support obligations, Rice's issues included badly chosen investments that did not yield the anticipated profits. Rice suffered significant losses that reduced his career profits because, like many players of his time, he made investing decisions without conducting adequate due diligence or seeking professional advice. Losses from investments and continuing family responsibilities combined to produce a financial burden that was challenging to diligence overcome. Rice currently serves as a community ambassador and scout for the Miami Heat, indicating a certain degree of financial recovery through consistent labor in the basketball sector. His past financial troubles, however, suggest continued vulnerability, and there is no concrete proof of total financial soundness. Tim Hardaway is the subject of another heartbreaking tale. Tim Hardaway. In keeping with his financial troubles, Tim Hardaway made over $46 million during his NBA career, but struggled financially due to tax liens, legal troubles, and unsuccessful real estate endeavors. His post-career financial management was insufficient to sustain his riches and fulfill his continuing commitments. During his playing career, Hardaway's real estate holdings were promising, but they eventually turned into significant causes of financial loss. Players like Hardaway, who had made significant investments in real estate development and speculation, were especially impacted by the downturns in the real estate market in the late 2000s. Tax issues and failed investments combined to create a financial quagmire from which it was difficult to climb. Hardaway's recorded history suggests continuous financial danger and susceptibility, even though no current reports reveal ongoing bankruptcy. The next player, like Hardaway, made poor financial choices. Swift Strohmeyer. During his career, Strohmeyer Swift made about $30 million, but he lost it all due to foreclosures on several properties and legal troubles brought on by bad money management. Swift's situation brings to light the unique dangers faced by athletes with shorter careers who might not have enough time to bounce back from financial setbacks. At first, Swift's real estate holdings seemed wise, but a series of foreclosures caused by bad market timing and insufficient financial supervision wiped out a sizable chunk of his fortune. His financial troubles were made worse by the extra costs and stress brought on by the legal issues resulting from these foreclosures. Swift had few chances for recuperation because of her very brief NBA career and bad financial choices. Swift had less money to fall back on when his investments did not work out. In contrast to athletes with longer careers or larger peak earnings, there are currently no updates on his financial situation as of 2025. Williams, Jason. Another heartbreaking tale included Jason Williams, who made over $121 million in his career, but declared bankruptcy after killing his limousine driver by accident in 2002. His financial situation was severely damaged by the compensation and legal costs associated with this unfortunate catastrophe, as well as by bad investments.
When I was going through my situation in Seattle, I had just signed a max deal at the time, right? Like, I signed for $80 million, and I can't tell anybody I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Right. They want the numbers. They want the performance.
Williams had to deal with high legal costs and civil settlements during the 8-year judicial process that followed this tragedy. His riches was mostly depleted by the case's emotional and financial toll, and his attempts to conceal the original occurrence resulted in further legal issues and costs. Williams' financial downfall serves as an example of how one sad incident, coupled with bad choices and complicated legal issues, can wipe out even significant riches. His recorded financial breakdown was one of the most severe and emotionally painful examples in NBA history, even though no recent evidence indicates continued financial difficulty. While tragedy was the source of Williams' problems, Larry Johnson's suffering was solely physical. Larry Johnson made almost $60 million throughout his career, but he filed for bankruptcy in 2015 because of his excessive spending, early retirement from chronic back problems, and child support responsibilities for 5 children by 4 separate women.
I take responsibility. I'm not gonna say somebody did that, and that. I'm supposed to look down the barrel. I was showing people guns. Here goes a gun. Here, look at this one. You know, this coach gave me this. This is beautiful. This. And when I went to slap the gun closed to hand it, I didn't even know that Mr. Christophe was in the house. The gun went off and hit Mr. Christophe in the chest.
Johnson's health problems caused him to retire early, limiting his earning potential at a time when his debts were at their highest. His career-ending chronic back pain necessitated extensive medical treatment and pain management, which added to his mounting financial load. An unachievable financial scenario resulted from the combination of numerous child support obligations, medical costs, and reduced earning capability. Johnson's situation serves as an example of how, when coupled with continuing personal responsibilities, career-ending impairments can have disastrous financial repercussions. Although there are no current updates as of 2025, his bankruptcy filing points to continued financial difficulties that might not go away without major intervention or adjustments to lifestyle. Kenny Anderson just did not have the proper direction, and Johnson's body just gave out. Anderson, Kenny Anderson, who made almost $60 million over the course of his 14-year career, but struggled financially as a result of bad investments, excessive spending, and family responsibilities, is another strong example. Throughout his career, Anderson played for 7 different teams, which frequently led to mid-level contracts that constrained his potential earnings in comparison to superstars who remained with just one organization. Buying 8 expensive cars and making bad real estate investments without the right advice were only 2 of the many causes of Anderson's financial troubles. His acknowledgement that he was not financially literate when he was playing highlights an issue that many young sportsmen face when they unexpectedly become extremely wealthy without the necessary.
And then I retired, Rex, because I was popping 6 pills a game to play. 2 anti-inflammatories, 2 muscle relaxers, 2 painkillers. This is what I needed to play. Yeah. So I got tired of doing all that. I can't do this anymore.
By 2010, Anderson had less than $150,000 remained from his $60 million in lifetime earnings, filed for bankruptcy amid growing debts. His shift to coaching at Fisk University brought regular but small salary relative to NBA standards, making complete financial recovery tough. The following player attempted to stand up as well. Mahorn Rick. Over the course of his 18-year career, Rick Mahorn made almost $6.8 million, but he declared bankruptcy in 2009-2010 after missing mortgage payments and owing the IRS more than $200,000. Mahorn's situation serves as an example of how even prolonged employment does not ensure financial stability when incomes stay low. Mahorn's contracts never reached superstar status because of his reputation as an enforcer and defensive specialist. At his highest, he made about $1 million annually with the Detroit Pistons. His lack of endorsement deals limited his off-court financial possibilities, and his aggressive playing style led to fines and suspensions that hurt his profits during critical earning years. Poor money management during Mahorn's playing and early coaching careers was reflected in the tax problems that led to his bankruptcy. His many positions in the summer leagues and WNBA brought in a consistent but meager income, which was not enough to pay off his mounting debts and commitments. However, there are indications of recovery in Mahorn's story. Through his work as a Big Three coach, Sirius XM host, and Detroit Pistons radio analyst, his estimated net worth has increased to about $4 million by 2025, proving that financial recovery is achievable with consistent labor and improved money management. In contrast to Dennis Rodman, who never mastered self-control, Mahorn's comeback demonstrates that discipline is effective. Rodman Dennis Ann. Additional well-known case concerns Dennis Rodman, who made about $27 million over the course of his 14-year career, but declared bankruptcy in 2011 as a result of losses from financial advisor scams and roughly $800. 0-inch unpaid child support. During and after his playing career, Rodman's extravagant lifestyle and strange spending patterns quickly depleted his earnings. Legal struggles, including numerous lawsuits over assaults and unpaid debts, as well as fines from on-court incidents, like kicking a man in 1997 that cost him $200,000, made Rodman's financial troubles worse. His remaining riches was decimated by the significant losses he suffered as a result of his reliance in the improper financial consultants, such as Peggy Ann Fulford, who conned several athletes. Rodman struggled too with the continuous financial strain brought on by his 3 children's child support payments, court fees, and bad investment choices. Although his off-court endeavors, including as reality television shows and wrestling appearances, brought in some money, it was not enough to cover his growing debts and commitments. Rodman's net worth has drastically decreased from his highest earning years, hovering about $500,000 as of 2025. Despite his prolonged public prominence and sporadic revenue prospects, his long-term financial security is dubious due to his continual extravagant spending habits and legal troubles. While Rodman's mayhem was anticipated, everyone was taken aback by Scottie Pippen's financial difficulties. Pippen, Scottie. Moving on to another unexpected instance, Scottie Pippen made about $109 million in his career, but lost millions due to bad investments. He also lost a lot of money on his quest to buy a private plane because of shady transactions, vehicles, and keeping an entourage. Expensive divorces, such as the well-publicized 2021 settlement with Larsa Pippen, probably depleted more money, and having several children raised his continuing debts due to child support. His earnings during his best years with the Chicago Bulls were restricted by his notorious 1991 contract choice, which led him to sign a 7-year, $18 million deal that was greatly undervalued. Compared to market rate contracts, this choice, which he took early in his career for financial security, ultimately cost him tens of millions of dollars in potential earnings. Even though Pippen makes money from his 2021 memoir, Unguarded, and media appearances as an ESPN analyst, his income might not be enough to support his NBA-caliber lifestyle. According to unverified claims, he is still under financial pressure, although as of 2025, it is uncertain exactly how much money he has. Leitner, Christian Leitner, who made almost $60 million during his career, but experienced serious financial difficulties as a result of unsuccessful real estate endeavors with former colleague Brian Davis, is another troubling story. Due to the disastrous failure of their $80 million construction project in Durham, North Carolina, creditors filed lawsuits claiming that former teammate Johnny Dawkins owed them $2 million. Leitner was in serious financial trouble by 2015, as seen by the confiscated property and numerous litigation he was facing for outstanding debts. His remaining riches was further eroded in 2011 when his real estate company filed for bankruptcy, without any notable coaching or media positions that would generate a sizable revenue. He runs a basketball academy, but it is unknown how successful it is financially. Therefore, his major source of income is his reduced prior salary. The recorded losses and absence of discernible revenue sources after 2015 point to continued financial peril for Leitner. He is one of the most vulnerable former athletes on this list since his financial status is still uncertain, and there is no indication that he has made a substantial recovery or found new sources of income. Though rumors about prospective financial strain revolve on potential child support payments and the typical obstacles faced by young, wealthy athletes, Anthony Edwards is on course to become the NBA's first $82 million earner annually. When Edwards requested a paternity test, additional financial difficulties surfaced, which sparked additional legal disputes. The temptation to maintain a high-profile image brought on by Edwards' lucrative endorsement deals, such as those with Adidas, can result in extravagant spending on upscale accessories, pricey entourages, and lifestyle upkeep. In the past, this trend has impacted young celebrities who find it difficult to safely handle unexpected fortune without the right financial advice. Edwards might not have the strong financial management procedures required to safeguard his riches over the long run at the age of 24 in 2025. There is a sense of urgency surrounding property because his present term coincides with the average NBA career lifespan of 4.5 years. Preparing his finances before his earning potential is impacted by possible career-ending injuries or performance drops. Even though Edwards is still playing and has a contract that guarantees him money, he is especially susceptible to the financial errors that have impacted 60% of NBA players because to his youth and high income. Despite his current success and significant earning potential, he may experience comparable difficulties in the absence of appropriate financial education and management. Simmons. Ben Simmons. A contemporary player who has earned about $147.5 million by 2025, but has only played 108 games since 2021 because of back ailments and mental health issues, is another player who may face financial risks. His worth and future earning potential have been eroded by his decreased on-court output, and his 2024-25 salary of $40.3 million is his last guaranteed year. Since people are beginning to doubt Simmons' mental health claims, his legal battles with the Philadelphia 76ers, including his lawsuit for about $20 million in withheld salaries citing mental health reasons, have resulted in additional legal costs and income uncertainty.
Like, they want you to spend on them, but have you ever had a friend that said, hey, Kenny, don't spend right now, man. Save your money. You're going too much. Have you ever had a mentor like that?
No, I never had a mentor like that when I was playing, but I wish I did, but...
Compared to his early career potential, Ben's refusal to play for an extended period of time and his waning marketability have limited his prospects for endorsement deals, and the demand to maintain a high-profile lifestyle in major locations like Brooklyn and Philadelphia is rising. If injuries continue, Simmons' career at 29 in 2025 might be coming to an end, which would limit his ability to accumulate wealth over the long run. Ja Morant. Ja Morant will have made over $110 million by the end of the 2025-2026 season, but his off-court problems, including legal disputes over alleged assaults and a 25-game suspension in 2023, pose serious financial dangers. But unlike Ben Simmons, he recovered and shown real progress. His long-term financial stability may be impacted by these problems, which have resulted in high legal costs and possible loss of sponsorship opportunities.
He came from Philly, and you know what? Mental health issues, we take it very seriously. He gets traded from Philly, however, with people having trepidation about whether or not he was telling the truth about what those real issues were.
Obviously, a lot of learning. Pretty much, that. Honestly, took that time to, better myself, get in a, better space mentally. Yeah, it's an ongoing process, continued process for me.
Morant's high-risk behavior habits lead to persistent financial and legal vulnerabilities that, if left unchecked, might rapidly worsen. Despite his current max contract status, his financial security is seriously threatened by the combination of potential suspension-related income loss, legal costs, and prospective cancellations of endorsement deals. Nonetheless, through counseling and behavioral adjustments, Morant has demonstrated his understanding of his shortcomings and dedication to getting better. Although the financial risks from his prior activities continue to present obstacles for his long-term financial security and professional opportunities, his admission of past mistakes and his efforts to address underlying issues signal the possibility of constructive transformation. Click on any of the cards on your screen to view additional material if you liked this video.